Hello there, John Hall from Right Here Pens, and today we're going to be looking at the Pilot Falcon, which has been around for ages, but Pilot have recently introduced an extra fine nib to the UK market, which for flex writers is, well, we'll find out. Is it good news or not? The pen itself is pretty basic. This version is black. I think it's a resin pen. I think they do a metal version as well. And to be honest, I'm not entirely certain which this one is. It's quite heavy, quite nice. Now, flex is becoming increasingly popular at the moment. And we'll have a little chat about that in a minute, because I suspect you're getting fed up with looking at me and really want to have a closer look at the pen. So we'll do that now. Okay then, here we are. One thing I like about Pilot is that they don't necessarily go out for prizes for imaginative packing. That's pretty boring. This is a little bit more interesting. Very neat silver dots along there. There we go, the only real embellishment apart from the name Pilot. So we open up and we find we have a pen. I think this is the metal version. Certainly quite heavy, quite satisfying actually. There we are, and the important letters here are SEF, because they call these nibs soft, and they do some amazingly flexible nibs which we're trying to get hold of, but so far Pilot won't play ball. But this is a nice nib for flex writing. So there we are. Let's have a look. It's screw-on cap. What is really interesting is the profile of the nib, and as you can see, it has an interesting sort of shape, a flattish front part, fairly long tines. There we go. And it does, I suppose, look a little bit like a falcon's beak, hence the name Falcon. Inside it has the, classic love it or hate it Pilot converter. If we just look at the nib a little bit here, let's get a little bit closer and get in focus, and we can see, well, yes, there's a good bit of spring there. That's nice. So let's see how it writes. I have to my side here a trusty Leuchtturm notebook. I usually use these large Leuchtturm notebooks. It gives a degree of consistency in terms of testing how the nibs work. It's the same pen always on my reviews, or it has been for quite some time. Now, this is a very boring picture, so we'll get the nib there. There we are, another look at that profile. Very smart, very smart. I think we'll just try and zoom in a little bit here on the page, and let's hope I can find that bit. There we are. Okay, ink, we have ink. There we go. Fedelstein Amethyst today. Give it a bit of a dip. It might take a while to get going, I don't know. Now, as I do this, here we go. Now, I must confess I have tried this already, and one thing I have discovered is that you don't need a lot of pressure to get a line down, and if you do try to force it too much, particularly on the sideways strokes, it doesn't like it. However, at the moment we've demonstrated it gives a good line as a extra fine, and that is extra fine without doubt. Let's try and put a bit of pressure on and see how it goes. So here is a little bit, here is a little bit more, and here is yet more. Now you can see there that as soon as I release the pressure, it comes straight back to a good fine line. So Let's have a look and see how it performs. Now obviously you're probably going to get your biggest flex on lines running from top left to bottom right, or depending on how you hold the pen, vertically. There we go. Now, right, this is a nice nib. I'm enjoying using it. It is not as soft as some flex nibs I've used, but these tend to be nibs that cost at least twice as much. So he pays your money, he takes your choice, and I think this is a very usable nib. And I think it forces you into good habits actually, because you do need, when not flexing, to take the pressure off it. So there we go. My usual joke, yes, it does numbers too. This will take a bit of getting used to. And I suppose in terms of gold flex nibs, this is probably a bit at the stiffer end. Now there are quite a few steel nibs coming onto the market, steel flex nibs, and this is easier to work than those, no doubt about that. It doesn't need so much pressure to get flex. But a bit like them, it does require constant awareness of the pressure that you're putting on the nib. So horizontal line there with no pressure is fine. The more pressure you put on, actually, the scratchier it gets. So lift and press, and you get quite a nice result actually. Flex writing is a skill that, as you can see very clearly, I haven't entirely mastered, and some would argue haven't mastered at all. It takes a lot of practice, and it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone's writing style. But if you can do it, the results can be absolutely magnificent. In terms of this pen, I've always quite liked it actually. It's a fairly reasonable price. It's a bit over £200, which for a pen with a 14 karat gold nib in the UK market is pretty good going actually. So I would certainly recommend this. I mean, Pilot are a great brand. I like Pilot pens very much. And this, well, it's the first time I've looked at the Falcon for quite some time, and yeah, I like it. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back soon. Cheerio.